was not happy with the car in final practice. Same thing for James Hinchcliffe, said the car was super loose. Obviously, they've got that fixed.
And Marco Andretti has really moved up the most positions since the start of the race as we have a caution.
7 seconds behind the leader.
And a crash.
James Jakes.
One of the Dale Coyne cars into the safer barrier. He's talking about Marco Andretti, who had moved up to 11th position, gaining 6 since the start of the race, but now we have a slowdown.
And by the way, even though it's only lap 24, this is the kind of racetrack you see. That's just what I was going to say. Everyone will take the opportunity and pit under yellow, because you saw earlier a green stop cost you almost 2 laps.
Yeah, and that's a big risk, so you're absolutely right. But you know, surprised we got an incident so early on. I thought the race would kind of play out a little bit more before this, but certainly going to spice up the racing. There'll be some action in the pits.
2 abreast restarts, of course. Now James Jakes didn't appear to damage the car all that much.
It was across the bump, wasn't it, Dan?
Yeah, he did.
Thing just jumped.
And that's what happens when you go across that bump. The car gets unstable. But look, he's in dirty air. When you're amongst other cars, that problem gets accentuated, and you could see that, you know, he went over the bump in dirty air, he lost the rear of the car and spun around and hit the wall.
Professor B told us all about dirty air in last race, and it caught with James Jakes, who is climbing out of his car. Okay, sponsor on the car, Acorn Stair Lifts. But on lap number 25, we do have a pit stop coming up.
And here's Serbia. He's on the move again. You know, he likes that outside lane. He was strong at Milwaukee, and you know, look at him pushing and really pressuring Sato, going down the inside into turn 1 here.
Well, we've said it again. We've said it before. We'll say it again. The Newman Haas team has just been outstanding in the series this year.
And this typically is not a strong racetrack for them. So the fact that yellow.
And a car into the wall.
Mike Conway, and I think Anna Beatrice. Or is it Justin Wilson?
Conway has made contact with the outside safer barrier and comes to rest on the inside of the racetrack. So the second caution comes out here on lap number 46. All right, here comes the replay on this most recent incident involving Conway and Anna Beatrice.
Definitely contact with each other first. Look at all the parts. That was Vitor Mira that got a big piece of bodywork.
And it's a very difficult view, but I've got to say, guys, I think probably Conway was trying to get underneath Anna Beatrice, hit the bump. She was probably pinning him down, and they got into one another. You've got to give the guy room or girl room on the inside when you're trying to get around the outside of them.
Kind of like the incident last night in final practice when Sato and Tagliani got together.
Exactly.
Back at Iowa Speedway, we had already thrown to a commercial break for our local affiliates, and so you were not able to see on nonstop. But Will Power has had a very hard contact with the outside safer barrier. There you see Roger Penske, the car owner, very concerned about his driver, Clive Howell, also. We were on board watching Will when it happened, and we'll see if we can determine exactly what happened here.
It just got loose over that bump, and when it snaps here, you know, it's very hard to recover. It snapped very quickly. Huge hit.
Watch this.
And listen.
Outside, clear.
You know, what you saw there was he was overtaking Vitor Mira. He was going in on a tighter line, and over that bump, it just snapped. He got out of the power, but unfortunately for Will, he hit at the worst possible angle. You know, he had a back injury, and he hit gearbox first, and that puts a lot of the impact through your lower back. Hopefully he'll be okay.
Well, he's sitting on the side pod. Now he gets up and will walk to the Phillips emergency care vehicle, and that is good to see. Will Power earlier in the race had contact with Charlie Kimball on pit lane, and now this accident has knocked him out of the race and will be a serious blow to his championship hopes.
What Dixon is very good at, he's very good at analyzing what his car does, and it's early on in the race. He'll be making changes to make it good for the end. And you see Marco on the outside of Tony Kanaan.
Just about to take third. The battle for third is between Kanaan on the low side and Marco Andretti.
Now, don't forget about their off-season war of words where Marco was saying,
Yellow, yellow, yellow. Sebastian Saavedra is in the safer barrier, just past the halfway point.
And Jan, like you said, the yellows breed yellows, and this is just the track for that.
Only been 20 laps since they pitted, so we'll have the same scenario, 50-50, some will, some won't.
And another big hit here at Iowa Speedway. Listen.
Same place.
Man.
Same place.
Yep.
And this track will bite you, and you know, again, he hit at a bad angle with the rear of the car first, and you know, that's the last possible place you want to hit.
Well, we'll look at a replay first. Oh, you can see all the sparks. Was that enough sparks to where something could have broken? Because there was a lot of sparks.
Yeah, and I think you might be right. I think something may have broke.
We'll back it up to the... If there was sparks before it goes sideways and it continues to spark, that often is an indicator that something's broken. That's a lot.
Yeah, that's a close one.
Now, you may notice by the position, the way that they're tending to him in the car. Looking ahead to...
Oh, that's a difficult one to
I'm
say
wondering,
from here.
I'm wondering if the right rear suspension may have given way. That was an awful lot of sparks. And you may have noticed the positions that they've gone into. If you watch the pre-race show, what they're doing is stabilizing his neck, meaning that there may be, if he has any sort of complaint of neck pain, they'll go through that procedure that we got demonstrated through the Professor B that Ed Carpenter showed for us. So that is exactly the procedure they're going through right now.
Oh, this is going to get close. This is going to get close. Oh, Marco just pushes up. Dario is definitely, he's very aggressive though. When you consider that Will Power's out of the race, he's still pushing the envelope. What's great is he knows, oh, and he's pitting.
Yep. And Marco's following. Oh, here we go. The two leaders right together, and he almost gets into the back of them.
Guys, and in and out laps are going to become really important right now. Really important.
60-mile-an-hour speed limit down pit lane.
Hey, reset your fuel,
and Sato is in the wall.
So anyone who hasn't pitted is going to get a huge advantage. Actually, these guys are too, because they're in the pits, and this counts.
And thankfully, Takuma Sato is walking to the Phillips emergency car after his incident. And here is what happened. Right of your screen.
Really
just broke loose once again.
That turn, the exit of turn 2, that's biting everybody. But such a shame for KV Racing Technology. You know, their cars have been fast these last couple of races, and man, oh man, happened to Tony Kanaan. I think two years consecutively.
3, actually.
3.
Yep.
So now what happens, Bob, is anyone who hasn't stopped yet